This one truth will change how you see your life forever, because one choice creates your entire path. If you're looking for motivation, wisdom, and life lessons, take the path of purpose.
How do I build a meaningful relationship? How do I build a meaningful relationship? That question sits at the core of what it means to be human. Because no matter how strong, successful, or independent I become, I still need connection. I still long for closeness. I still ache to be seen, known, understood, and loved. Relationships aren't just something we want, they're something we need. And yet, so many of us struggle to build the kind that lasts, the kind that heals, the kind that grows. So, how do I build a relationship that matters? One that isn't shallow, transactional, or temporary. One that's real. Let's begin with the truth. Meaningful relationships are not built on luck. They're built on effort, intention, understanding. They take time, they take work, and they take heart. From the beginning of recorded history, humans have relied on relationships to survive. In tribal societies, connection wasn't optional, it was life or death. People hunted together, built together, protected each other. Community was a form of safety, but beyond survival, relationships also became the foundation for culture, wisdom, and legacy. In ancient philosophy, relationships were seen as a mirror for the self. Aristotle wrote about philia, deep friendship rooted in virtue. He said that the highest form of friendship wasn't based on utility or pleasure, but on shared values and mutual respect. In this kind of bond, both people want the best for each other. Not just happiness, but excellence. In Eastern traditions, relationships are tied to harmony and responsibility. Confucius emphasized benevolence and taught that relationships must be guided by empathy, respect, and proper conduct. In Hinduism and Buddhism, the idea of interconnectedness is central. We are not isolated beings, we're threads in a shared fabric. What we do to others, we do to ourselves. In every major religious and spiritual tradition, love is elevated. Not just romantic love, but sacrificial love. Compassion, loyalty, forgiveness. These values aren't just idealistic, they're essential. So how do I build a meaningful relationship? In real and practical terms. First, I have to know myself. I cannot give what I don't have. If I don't know my values, my wounds, my needs, or my patterns, I will bring confusion into the relationship. The more self-aware I am, the more honest and open I can be with someone else. Second, I have to choose with care. Not everyone is meant to be in my life long term. A meaningful relationship starts with alignment. Do we share values? Do we respect each other's growth? Can we disagree with grace? Chemistry matters, but compatibility matters more. Once I've chosen to invest in a relationship, here's what builds meaning. 1. Vulnerability. Without vulnerability, there is no intimacy. Being real about my fears, my past, my hopes, my pain is the foundation of trust. When I take off the mask and show who I really am, I give someone the chance to love me for it. That is where connection deepens. 2. Communication. Honest, kind, clear communication is everything. I have to speak not just when things are easy, but when they're hard. I have to listen not just to respond, but to understand. I have to ask questions, clarify assumptions, and stay curious. Most relationships don't end because of one big thing, they fade. Because of unspoken resentments, unmet expectations, and broken communication. 3. Consistency. Meaningful relationships are not built in dramatic moments. They're built in the ordinary one's daily effort, small gestures, steady presence, showing up, keeping promises, being reliable. That's how trust grows. 4. Mutual effort. A meaningful relationship is never one-sided. Both people have to care, invest, apologize, forgive, initiate, and grow. If only one person is doing the work, it's not a relationship, it's a performance. 5. Shared purpose. Having fun is great, but what deepens a relationship is sharing purpose, supporting each other's goals, being part of each other's growth, lifting each other higher when we're aligned on where we're going. The bond becomes a partnership, not just an emotional escape. 6. Forgiveness. There will be mistakes, misunderstandings, hurt feelings. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it's choosing healing over blame. It's saying, you matter more than my ego. Without forgiveness, resentment poisons everything. 7. Boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are bridges. They protect love, they create safety, they ensure respect. In a meaningful relationship, I should be able to say no without fear, and hear no without defensiveness. Boundaries are clarity, and clarity is kindness. Science backs all of this. Studies from Harvard, Stanford, and the Gottman Institute have shown that strong relationships are the biggest predictor of happiness, health, and longevity. Not status, not income, not achievement. Relationships. One of the most significant studies on adult development, conducted over 80 years by Harvard, found that the quality of our relationships, not the quantity, is what gives life satisfaction. Warm relationships keep us healthy. Toxic ones make us sick. And loneliness is as dangerous as smoking or obesity. So building meaningful relationships isn't just emotionally important, it's biologically essential. But I can't build them if I don't take risks. If I keep my guard up. If I expect people to read my mind. If I avoid conflict, or people please, or sabotage connection. When it gets too close, I have to do the work. I have to learn to stay, to speak up, to ask for what I need, to hold space when someone else is in pain, to sit in discomfort when it would be easier to run. And I have to remember, relationships aren't perfect. They're messy. They bring up old wounds. They test patience. But they are also sacred. They are how we grow, heal, evolve. I think of people who modeled this for me. The couple who stayed married for 50 years, not because it was easy, but because they kept choosing each other. The friend who called every week, even when I didn't. The mentor who told me the truth when I didn't want to hear it. Those are the relationships that shaped me. I also think of the relationships I lost. The ones I let fade. The ones I outgrew. The ones that hurt. And I ask, what did I learn? How can I love better next time? Because every relationship, good or bad, teaches me something. About love, about trust, about communication, about myself. So, if you're struggling to build a meaningful relationship, start here. Get honest with yourself. What do you want? What are you afraid of? What patterns do you keep repeating? What beliefs are holding you back? Then, get honest with others. Be brave enough to be real. Be open enough to receive love. Be willing to have the hard conversations. And most of all, be consistent. Keep showing up. Keep growing. Keep loving. Because meaningful relationships don't happen overnight. They are cultivated over time. Through storms and sunshine. Through joy and grief. Through laughter and silence. They are built in the everyday moments when I choose kindness over pride, presence over distraction, forgiveness over bitterness. That is how I build something real. That is how I create love that lasts. So what do I want? I want relationships that feel like home, that challenge me, that hold me, that grow with me. I want love that's deep, not flashy. I want trust that's earned, not assumed. I want intimacy that's built, not forced. And I want to be that kind of person for others too, because in the end, it's not just about finding meaningful relationships. It's about becoming the kind of person who can create and sustain them. And that is the most meaningful journey of all.